Insurance mandates are bad healthcare policy. That's the assessment of Jordan Roberts from the John Locke Foundation. And Jordan, you write this as sort of a general principle, but you, in a recent blog post, took a look at two particular bills that sort of fit in with this general theme, House Bill 149 and House Bill 329. Why did you describe these as two bad bills?
Well, that's because they impose mandates on the insurance companies and tell them what types of services and benefits they need to provide and sort of the manner they need to provide that in. And the reason that's bad healthcare policy is because when the government comes in and mandates certain benefits for health insurers, what this ends up doing is sort of raising costs for all of us. And, you know, the way I like to describe that is it's concentrated benefits and diffuse costs. So only a small number of people benefit from them, but we're all sort of paying for them. And in North Carolina, we have over 50 health insurance benefit mandates that certainly not all of us are using, but by law, any insurer that operates in the state has to provide coverage and, abide by those laws. So just adding more to them, this session I think would be a bad course for North Carolina.
Let's talk a little bit about the specifics of the bills. House Bill 149 is titled Improving Access to Care via Telehealth. Sounds like a good title. We've talked about telehealth being a good thing. Why is this bill not the right way to go?
Right. So, obviously, the John Locke Foundation is very supportive of increased telehealth use. But the reason that it's not the right way to go about it is because this bill would essentially mandate that insurers have to they can't limit coverage and reimburse providers for anything that's provided over telehealth that would normally be covered in person. And we certainly want to encourage more telehealth use because we believe it's a very innovative technology and way that we can get more access to healthcare from people. But what this ends up doing is it would prohibit insurers from denying any benefits for telehealth procedures that aren't appropriate. Not everything could be provided over telehealth, but what this bill says is that if a provider bills for it, the insurer has to pay. And so, again, we want to encourage telehealth use, but we believe that just allowing the market to do that, allowing insurers and providers to sort of come to an agreement contractually about what's appropriate, what patients are demanding, rather than the government coming in and just saying everything needs to be covered and everything needs to be reimbursed for. So, like I said, not everything's appropriate over telehealth. We want to encourage more use. We think it should supplement normal healthcare delivery, but the government shouldn't be coming in and mandating that everything needs to be covered through telehealth that would normally be covered in person.
When it comes to telehealth, would it be better to just say, from the government's perspective, go ahead, do telehealth, we're not going to block you?
Right, exactly. And so, some of the other recommendations we have that we should be knocking down barriers to telehealth usage. One example of that is licensing. In order to provide telehealth benefits in the state, you have to hold a North Carolina license. Well, doctors that are licensed in other states, they would have to obtain a whole new North Carolina license to provide treatment here. And so, one of our recommendations is to just sort of allow doctors that are licensed in other states to quickly register with the state and be able to provide access. So again, it's sort of the two opposite directions. Instead of mandating these mandate benefits or benefit mandates on insurers, we think that we should be allowing any types of providers that want to use this, any patients that want to use it to do it, but without the government saying so.
Let's talk a little bit about the other bill that was mentioned in your blog post. It's House Bill 329, and it has the title Chiropractic Care Copayment Parity, enough to put anyone to sleep. So basically, my sense of this is it would force insurers to have to pay the same thing for chiropractic care as they would for some other primary care.
Right. So essentially, in the same vein as the other bill, this would prohibit insurers from limiting coverage for chiropractic services. But then a step further, it would actually also mandate that the insurers can't provide or can't request a higher copay from the insured as they would compared to primary care. Now, this is not, my criticism of this is not a knock against chiropractors or anything like that. If people if that works for folks, then they should be able to do that. But we shouldn't, again, having the government come in and saying that insurers need to pay this the same rate that you do primary care. I think the average person can see that chiropractic care and primary care are very, very different. And so again, it's unfortunate, but what usually ends up happening with these benefit mandates is that special interest comes in, lobbies the government to say, my profession needs this special carve out, this special protection, and this bill seems to be sort of more of the same. So again, it's just, we don't think that nobody should get chiropractic care. We just don't think that the state should come in and say, insurers, you must cover this at the same rate as primary care.
Is this another case in which the best option is just to say, people who want to get chiropractic care, go do it, that's fine. We're just not going to have the government step in and tell insurers what they have to do about it.
Exactly, because again, like what I said at the beginning, when we mandate that insurers have to cover this care, you and I may not get chiropractic care in our insurance benefit plan, but if insurers have to provide that option for coverage and have to pay a higher amount, then we're all going to be paying for that in our health insurance premium. So again, concentrated benefits and diffuse costs are what ends up happening with these health insurance mandates.
The blog post has the headline, Insurance Mandates Are Bad Healthcare Policy. You'll find it at the John Locke Foundation's Locker Room blog, and its author is Jordan Roberts, who is a healthcare expert at the John Locke Foundation. Jordan, thanks so much.
Thank you.